Pyramid, also known as Fluch der Mumie. This is a game where one player takes on the role of a mummy that's hunting adventurers that have stepped into the pyramid where the mummy's tomb lies. All other players in the game will be adventurers that are seeking treasures which are sort of scattered throughout the pyramid. The goal for the adventurers is to collect a set number of treasures from the board. Each of the adventurers will have their own list of treasures to collect. The first adventurer to collect all their treasures will be the winner. Unless the mummy player collects a set number of life tokens from the adventurers, then the mummy player will be declared the winner. This is a game that everyone I've played it with has really enjoyed it. Pyramid has a number of qualities that makes it an easy one to bring to the table. It plays quite quickly, it's about 30 to 40 minutes. It's a light game, very fun, it accommodates and I enjoy it with between 2 to 5 players. It's easy to teach and it has a great gimmick that seems to capture the imaginations of both young and old, making it a great family game. I don't know why this game isn't more popular. Let's have a look at Pyramid.
Okay, here's the game setup. This vertical piece here is actually the board, and it has the same map of a pyramid printed on both sides. All players' pieces in this game are magnetic and actually stick to the board. The board sits upright by placing it into the box, and it's a snug and sturdy fit. The box also has storage compartments underneath for the game's components, and it makes this game both quick to set up and very quick to pack up. All the adventurers in Pyramid will sit on one side of this board, and the mummy player will sit opposite. The adventurers will get a pool of dice to determine their movement, but I'll get into that later because it's not just a roll and move. The adventurers will also get a number of life tokens in the same colour as their player's piece, and a hand of cards. Each card has a picture of a treasure that corresponds to a space on the board. For an adventurer to collect a treasure, they simply have to move on to this location and play the treasure card face up. Now here's where it gets interesting. The adventurer, by doing this, is getting ahead in the game, coming closer to their winning condition. But by playing the card face up, they have also revealed their location to the mummy player. You see, the adventurers will know where the mummy player is at all times, because the mummy player has a player's piece on the adventurer's side of the board. However, the mummy won't always know where the adventurers are, because the adventurers don't have any player's pieces on the mummy's side. The mummy's player piece is controlled by this magnetic playing figure which is on the mummy's side of the board. So as the mummy moves this figure about, the adventurers will see the mummy's player's piece move on their side of the board sort of mysteriously. You won't know what the mummy's player's intentions are or where he's going, and it's just great to watch. It sort of feels like a game of hide and seek as the mummy moves around. Oh no, is he going to get me? Oh, he's just past me. It's just a lot of fun. Now, if the mummy captures an adventurer, it'll make a clicking sound as the player's pieces attach to one another. So the mummy will always know when he's actually captured an adventurer. The captured adventurer then gives the mummy player one of their life tokens, and that adventurer must start back at the entrance space. So during the game you might be near a treasure you need to collect, but if the mummy player is nearby, you might not want to reveal your location yet. Now let's have a look at the dice mechanic for movement. In this game, all adventurers will take their turns one by one, and then the mummy player takes his. To determine movement, the game includes 6 dice, 5 for the adventurers, and 1 unique die for the mummy. The adventurers' dice each have a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, an arrow, and a mummy icon on them. To determine the adventurer's movement, they roll all available dice and pick only 1 to use. The numbers mean the number of spaces that player can move. The arrow means that player can move through a wall, which is pretty handy sometimes when the mummy's right on your tail. The mummy icon, if displayed, locks that die out, so you give that die to the mummy player to hold on to for the time being. An adventurer can re-roll the available dice not showing mummy icons as many times as they wish in their turn before selecting one to use, but obviously this increases their chance of more dice being locked out. The next adventurer then gets to make their movement roll by using any dice not locked out, and so on and so on. If an adventurer wants to get the locked out dice back from the mummy player, they have to say they want to reset the dice. Every time an adventurer resets the dice, the mummy player will get a bonus movement immediately. The mummy's bonus movement is equal to the number of locked out dice in front of them. The mummy player takes their bonus movement and returns a locked out dice to the active adventurer, and they will have all 5 dice to roll again before their turn begins. This is a good attempt at eliminating some downtime for the mummy player, because it can be kind of strange being the mummy player staring at a blank board as the other players take their turns when you won't always have a clue of what they're up to at all. And it's a bit of a strange role. I like it, but I can imagine that it's not going to be suitable for everyone. Okay, so after the adventurers take their turns, it's the mummy's turn. The mummy rolls his unique dice to determine his movement. The mummy's dice has a 3, 2 2s, and 3 1s. That again corresponds to the number of spaces he can move. But wait, there's more. If there are any locked out dice in front of the mummy player at the beginning of the mummy player's turn, he adds a number of those dice to his movement as well. Okay, so let's have a look at a few sticky situations Pyramid can put you in. Player 4 has just collected this treasure, so it's the mummy's turn now, and he starts heading towards player 4. It's now player 1's turn. He can decide to reset the dice. If he does this, this will give the mummy player a bonus movement of 3, which is enough to capture player 4. But this will mean that the mummy player will get a life token, bringing him closer to his winning conditions. But at times this can be beneficial for an adventurer to do, because player 4 will go back to the beginning, perhaps further away from collecting his next treasure depending on how far ahead he is in the game. Or if he was on his last life token, it could be beneficial because it would eliminate him from the game completely. Let's have a look at another scenario. As the mummy, it can be interesting if a player has just revealed their location and then moved. You will know how far his movement was from the revealed location, but obviously not what direction they moved. So there can be sort of a deduction element as you're trying to figure out where that player might be within certain spaces on the board.
Okay, this is a great game for families. I don't have children myself, but I have played the game with 2 young boys, their father and my best mate, and we all had a great amount of fun. We had just as much fun as when I played the game with all adults at my gaming club. It's a good game for kids and a great light game for adults. A few things worth mentioning. The players' pieces might be, for the colourblind, might be a bit of an issue. That you got red, blue, purple and aqua. I'm not really sure what made them choose those colours. It seems like an odd combination to me to choose, but the blue and the purple are very similar and the aqua's not far off. Another thing, the game, it does have player elimination. That can be a problem for some people as well, although in our games I will say it doesn't seem to be a common occurrence at all. In regards to the 2-player game, it would be extremely easy for the adventurer player just to cheat because there'd be no one to monitor his movement. So depending on who you play with, that might be a problem as well. I enjoy the game 2 players, however due to interaction and atmosphere it is a much more enjoyable experience with more players involved. We also don't use the 2-player variant supplied in the rulebook. We have done, and it works fine, and it was enjoyable. We definitely had more fun when we played it just with one player taking on the role of all 4 adventurers. The rulebook is clear. The overall package of everything included is really good. The components are excellent. The gameplay is fantastic. I've had a lot of fun with Pyramid, and I expect to get a lot more plays because it seems to be hitting the table quite a bit. Despite the mummy and the adventurers sort of having very different goals in the game, it's still got some balance. The game in Australia was $50 for me. I must admit that's pretty good value. I think the game's going to hit the table a lot more. Thanks for watching another episode of Castelli Reviews, everyone. And if I don't see you all before Christmas, have a very Merry Christmas. I have some big plans for 2011. It's been a very fun year of gaming. A big thank you to everyone who has supported my reviews, and I hope your Secret Santas are kind to you. Merry Christmas, everyone.